Hello, my name is Matthew, and this is Andy. And I just saw Steve Donoghue had appropriated an idea to make a tag video about your favorite Penguin classic. And I thought it was such a cool idea. But the first thing that popped into my mind was actually just a story about a Penguin classic. And so I'm holding in my hands my edition of the Iliad by Homer, and this is the Robert Fagel's translation. And a little bit of a backstory. Through my 20s, I had a tradition of going to New York City on my birthday. I would take the train into Manhattan, and I would go to Central Park and just walk around. And then I would go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is one of my favorite places to visit. I love just roaming the halls and walking in to these huge rooms filled with beautiful artwork. And I have a lot of fond memories, and it was something that I looked forward to each year. And actually, I guess really quick, I'll tell you the first time I ever took the train to New York. I was maybe 18 or 19 years old, going by myself, and I didn't have any experience with the modern train system, and my only ideas of what a train was like came from two sources, and it was A Hard Day's Night and the train scene in The Catcher in the Rye. And so the first time I got myself onto a train, it's really stupid, but I was so disappointed. Not that I expected some sort of madcap misadventure, but it's just basically a bus on rails. So I had expected to see all of those cool little rooms with the wooden doors and the facing benches, and people kind of dressed up a little bit nicer, and meeting people, you'd be kind of in these enclosed spaces. And instead, it's just this bus. And I also thought that I was going to be arriving into Grand Central Station, which is not the case. You end up in Penn Station below Madison Square Garden. But anyway, so like I said, I had a tradition of each year on my birthday going up to New York City. But one day, I was at a coffee shop, and I'm reading my Homer, and I'm looking at the cover. I'm looking at this cover. And I always kind of like to look at the back and see where these things come from, and who, if it's a painting, who painted it, and if it's a photograph, who took the picture, and why is it important, and things like that. So I'm looking at this helmet here, and on the back it says cover photograph, bronze helmet of Corinthian type, Greek, late 16th century BC, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So I decide, just spontaneously, I'm gonna get on the train and go to New York City and search for this helmet in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it was such an exciting, sort of whimsical, fanciful idea that I'm gonna go on a scavenger hunt. And I loved the idea even before I was on the train, and all the while I was on the train, thinking about searching around, going from room to room, comparing, can I find it? Is it this helmet? Is it a different helmet? Maybe it's not even on display. Maybe it's in the crypts underground, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Maybe there would be a curator or a specialist there that would take me deep down. There's kind of like Indiana Jones fanciful ideas. So I get on the train, and it was great. I'm going up to Manhattan, and I'm reading my Homer, and I get off the train station, go up through the annals and out into the busy streets of New York City, and I go in to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and pretty much the very first room that I walked into and the very first case that I saw had the helmet. It was the first thing I saw. I wasn't in there for five minutes, and it's one of those examples of being dissatisfied by getting exactly what you wanted. Of course, I had a great experience, and I got to spend time um, doing what I love to do best, which is just mulling around and idling through this amazing, huge museum. I've been there 10, 15 times, and there's a good chance I haven't seen the whole thing. It's that kind of place. So I don't know if it's certainly one of my favorite penguins. I don't know if it is my favorite, but I kind of like that story, and I'd forgotten it. So I was watching Steve's video. I also watched Jason from Byways and Bookland, and also Brian from Bookish. I'll try to remember to leave links to everyone's videos because they're all terrific. Um, so yeah, just looking at this helmet makes me think of my time flying up to New York City on the spur of the moment in search for a Corinthian helmet. I love it. Leave a comment if you would like. I just thought I would share. So thank you. Bye.